In this video, I'm going to show you some additional features to format the layout of your forms. So in the previous video, you learned how to add simple inputs like this. And suppose we want to create a loan application form for our bank. And there's a couple different reactive features that we'll want to add to that. So one thing we can do is let's add a first name and a last name. I'm just going to copy this. I'm going to call this first name, last name. And usually you don't need this much space, right? So let's put this in a multi-column so that we can have them side by side. So we will drag this in here, and it already comes set up with two columns. So we can just drag our first name into the left one, our last name into the right one. By doing that, now we can put them side by side, which is a little bit cleaner. With multi-column, you can choose some column settings in here. The call span here, this is how many columns you want. The total number has to add up to 12. So if you wanted to, you could get rid of this and add 3 columns, for example. You can actually get rid of them and just have a single column if you want, which is helpful for making a container that you can apply CSS styles to, which we'll get to in a minute. But let me go ahead and put this back on a 2 column, so 6 and 6, so it totals to 12. And looks like we lost our last name when we deleted the column, so let's put this back in here. And for this demo, let's say we want to have a drop down for, select a loan type, right? And we'll show different fields for the type of loan that you're applying for. So the way we would do that is we would add a select list, and in configuration, data source, we'll just leave this provide values, which means that we'll be giving it the values that we want. So the value is what's going to get set to the variable name. And content is just what's displayed to the user. So for value, for our first one, we'll call this a home loan. And maybe when we show it to the user, we'll capitalize it. And we'll add another one for car loan. And we got to give this a variable name too, like loan type. Select a loan type. So you'll see that if you go to preview, you'll have these two options that you can choose from. So what we'll want to do is add a couple fields specific for those loan types, right? So let's add another input. And if you're applying for a home loan, let's just call this home price. And let's make another one for, I'll just copy that. And we'll call this like down payment. So what we'll want to do is we'll have down payment for both home type and car type, so that's fine. For home price, we'll only want to show this if you've selected home as your this one, the home loan, as your loan type, right? So if we look at the variable and we say loan type, We're only going to want to show this. The way we do that is with visibility rules, and that's down in advanced. And this allows you to write an expression. So in this case, we only want to show this home price field if loan type is home. So we'll do another one. I'll copy this. We'll do a similar one. I'll move this up here. And this will be like the price of the car. This will be again for the car loan. And so if we go down to advanced and we make this loan type car, that'll only show up for car loans. There's probably other things that you're going to want to know specific to like a car loan. So let's say you want make and model. And since we copied this, this should already be here for loan type car. Yeah. And so for loan type home, let's pick another one too, for example. So I copied that. I'm going to drag this back up towards home price here. And we'll call this just address. And again, we'll make sure that we have loan type home for that. Okay. So now if we go to preview, we have it laid out like this. Down payment's always there because it's both. But we could change that so that it doesn't show anything unless you choose something. And the way we would do that is we would add a visibility rule that just says loan type has to be set to something. Let's make sure that that's what we had set this as, right? Yeah, loan type. And you can just put loan type in here without anything else, and that'll say that, well, the variable has to be there and it can't be null. Now if we go to preview, you'll see that that's not even there until we go ahead and pick one, like home loan. So now we have home price, address of the home, and down payment. And if you go to car loan, you have car price, your make and model, and your down payment. And these will get filled in accordingly as you fill them out. So let's also look at CSS. Suppose we want to style these boxes. So what we can do is give each of these a custom CSS selector name. So I already added one to this. We'll just call this input. It's already there. Actually, that was test. Let's call this input. So they're all the same. I'm just going to go ahead and add this to all of these. Of course, you're going to probably want to name these different things based on how you want to style each of those elements. Then in CSS, we can use the selector like it shows up here. You just copy that. And we could do something like background color, light blue, maybe give it a border radius 5 pixels, maybe give it a, you'll want to give it some padding so that the input is not right up against it, and you'll probably want to give it, on a margin so that it gives it a little more space. So let's just call that 10 pixels, something like that. Now, if we go to preview, you'll see we've got these nice little pillbox style things, and we can change any of these. So anyway, that is some of the basics of well, not basics, but that's some of the little more advanced tricks that you can do to format your forms. All right, thanks.